Welcome to Ryerson University's Fire Safety video. In this video, we will be introducing the topics of fire prevention, procedures in an emergency evacuation, as well as duties and responsibilities for members of the Ryerson community. We begin by exploring the concept of how fires start. The fire triangle is a simple model for understanding the necessary ingredients for most fires. The triangle illustrates the three elements a fire needs to ignite: heat, fuel, and oxygen. Heat can be any hot surfaces, electrical equipment, static electricity, as well as open flames. Fuel can be any flammable liquids and gases, wood, paper, oil, grease, dusts, as well as certain metals. The last ingredient is oxygen, which is readily available in the air. Fire only needs an atmosphere of 16% oxygen to ignite, whereas the air we breathe has about 21% oxygen. Once started, a fire will stop if any one of these three elements are eliminated. This brings us into the idea of fire prevention and how it's important to always keep these three ingredients under control at all times. There are many fire hazards that exist on Ryerson's campus, especially in laboratory settings where flammable and combustible liquids are used on a daily basis. Working knowledge of the liquids used in the laboratory is paramount. Safety data sheets will provide physical and chemical properties, as well as handling and storage instructions. Flammable and combustible liquids must be kept in proper storage at all times, such as flammable storage cabinets, making sure that all storage containers containing flammables are labeled with a conspicuous flammable symbol or wording. Flammable and combustible liquids should never be stored alongside corrosives, oxidizers, reactive chemicals, or compressed gases. It's very important to note that the storage volumes of combustible and flammable liquids must not exceed the allowable limits as prescribed in the Ontario Fire Code regulation. When working with controlled flames, make sure to keep all flammables away and ensure that loose clothing and jewelry is removed, as well that long hair is tied back. Always make sure to never leave open flames, such as when using a Bunsen burner, unattended in a laboratory. Working in the presence of large quantities of combustible materials, such as paper, boxes, or tissues, can be dangerous in the proximity of heat sources. Any material that's not required for laboratory use should be located away from the workspace. If combustibles are required in the laboratory for daily usage, organizing them in a tidy manner will reduce the associated risk. It's also very important to note that all hallways, aisles, corridors, and staircases should be kept free of obstructions at all times. In the event of an emergency, cluttered pathways lead to tripping hazards, especially during a fire when there's low visibility, heavy smoke, and a sense of panic. Depending on where you work, please maintain full access to all control panels so that no material or equipment will slow down the shutting down of power during an emergency. Also, when stacking materials, be aware of the overhead clearance so that you're not blocking any sprinklers. Always try to practice good workplace housekeeping, as clutter contributes to fire hazards by providing fuel and preventing access to fire exits and emergency equipment. Some other key points to mention are to not overload outlets or power bars, report blackened electrical outlets and frayed cords, as well as to replace any malfunctioning electrical equipment. When purchasing equipment or machinery, make sure that all orders meet CSA standards and that all machinery is operated by its guidelines. In most cases, fires are traced back to human error. It's everybody's responsibility to exercise fire prevention. Prevention is crucial in fire safety. If you notice a fire hazard, report it to your supervisor immediately. If you discover a fire in a university building, you must exercise good judgment in deciding whether to attempt to extinguish the fire or not with the fire protection equipment available nearby. It's recommended that only those that are familiar with fire extinguishers should operate them. Fire hoses are to be used strictly by trained personnel only. The use of fire hoses by untrained personnel pose a significant danger. If in doubt, leave the fire scene, close all doors behind you, and activate the fire alarm at the nearest pull box station. After moving to a safe location, call security by dialing 80 on any campus telephone and provide emergency personnel with every detail. Make sure to leave the building by the nearest safe exit and do not use elevators. Stand outside the building to direct the fire department or security to the exact location of the fire. If a fire extinguisher has been used to extinguish a small fire, inform security at extension 5040. Provide every detail to them. Do not return used equipment to its original station, as this used equipment needs to be replaced immediately for future emergencies. Ryerson is equipped with two different alarm systems, a one-stage alarm system and a two-stage alarm system. The following Ryerson University buildings are equipped with a two-stage alarm system: the Student Learning Center, the Library Building, Podium, Jorgensen Hall, all quadrants of Kerr Hall, and finally the Ted Rogers School of Management. All other buildings are equipped with the regular one-stage fire alarm system. For two-stage alarms, please listen carefully to distinguish the signal, as there will be two different tones. For the first stage, the signal is a slow, intermittent tone. It signifies an alert signal. In this case, stand by and be alert to potentially evacuate the building. Listen to any announcements that may be made. For the second stage, a fast tone signifies an alarm signal, and you must evacuate the building immediately. Do not wait for further announcements. For one-stage alarms, you will hear the alarm signal. Leave the building immediately via the nearest emergency exit in a calm and orderly fashion. Be sure to take your keys, purse, or wallet and identification with you. Always make sure to close all doors behind you and never use elevators. Be sure to also provide assistance to anybody with a disability around you. Once you've arrived outside of the building, move away from the exit approximately 30 meters to avoid causing congestion. Do not re-enter the building until you're authorized to do so by the fire department or security. If you're aware that someone may still be in the building, let either security or the fire department know. For the purposes of an emergency, Ryerson University is equipped with many fire doors located across campus, which are designed to act as a barrier to limit the spread of fire or smoke. Because of the protection associated with these doors, it's a violation of the Ontario Fire Code to block them or to prop the doors in an open position. Fire extinguishers and fire pull stations should be visible and accessible. Adequate clearance should always be kept between any materials and sprinkler heads overhead. Please make sure to respect all fire safety systems and devices. Tampering with any system may jeopardize the safety of the Ryerson community. Unauthorized usage or removal of fire protection equipment is prohibited and will result in disciplinary action. A fire safety plan includes emergency procedures in evacuating occupants, including special provisions for persons requiring assistance. If you require evacuation assistance, it's your responsibility to notify your department head as well as each classroom instructor at the beginning of each term as to your personalized evacuation plan. This plan should include appropriate methods of assistance. That way, should an emergency requiring evacuation occur, instructors, co-workers, or nearby persons can follow the plan so that all members may safely exit the building. Instructors should plan for such an eventuality in consultation with the persons concerned, as well as Ryerson security. Security's role is to relay individual evacuation plans to the fire department, as well as the fire warden during the event of an emergency. During such an event, it's solely the fire department's responsibility to rescue those trapped in a building with an existing fire hazard. All members of the Ryerson community are responsible for evacuating the building immediately and following the directions provided by university personnel and fire officials. It's the responsibility of each member to report and observe any lapses in the evacuation procedure or any fire hazard to your faculty member or immediate supervisor, as well as security. Every department has appointed fire wardens, whose primary responsibility is to manage the evacuation of personnel from his or her designated area during a fire or other emergency. They will also carry out other responsibilities, such as advising all personnel within the area to evacuate by the nearest safe exit, assisting in the evacuation of persons with disabilities or who need assistance, checking washrooms and rest areas to inform any personnel of the emergency situation, closing all doors, cooperating with security and fire officials, as well as cooperating with security and the Integrated Risk Management Department in any debriefings resulting from an evacuation. All community members have the responsibility to be familiar with their department's fire safety plan, as each department has different emergency exits and protocols. If you're unaware of your fire emergency evacuation plan, speak to your supervisor in regards for more information. If you need further assistance, you may also contact the Integrated Risk Management Department. At Ryerson, we as a community are responsible for a shared approach in ensuring the health, safety, and security of each of our faculty, staff, students, as well as visitors in the event of an emergency on campus. We're committed to deliver a comprehensive and detailed fire safety plan that's accountable, user-focused, and assures due diligence. We welcome your comments and suggestions for continuous improvement of our emergency response on campus. As always, we thank you for your support.